Welcome to Book Club Preview. And today we're finishing the Graveyard Book with Chapter 8, Leavings and Partings. This chapter's pretty short, but it starts off with Bod, I forgot nobody's name, with Bod realizing the world he's been living in is changing. He tries to fade, and he can't fade anymore. Foxes and cats that he used to hang out with suddenly look at him like a stranger. He tries to take the secret graveyard paths, and they're closed off to him. He tries to see one of his friends and to go peek inside the grave and say hello, and he boom, oh, he bumps into the ground. He sees Mrs. Slaughter, and she talks to him and says goodbye. I'll probably never see you again, or I won't see you for a while. And just everything is different. Bod will sometimes see ghost people, and then they'll disappear, and he can't see them anymore. And sometimes he'll see them again, and then they disappear. He doesn't know what's going on, but the world he lives in is changing. He ends up going and talking to his dad, and his dad just kind of says, "You're growing up to be a man now. We're gonna miss you, son." And his mom disappears, and so dad says, "Go talk to Silas. He'll explain things." And so Bod goes over to the chapel to wait for Silas to wake up to get out of bed or whatever. He sits on a bench, and suddenly he hears Liza Hemstock saying, she says a bunch of stuff like "you're dumb," "living is wasted on the living," pretty much. And she says, "Say you'll miss me." And Bod's like, "Well, where are you going? Why am I gonna miss you? Where are you gonna go?" She's like, "Oh, you're so dumb." And we might understand that Bod is the one that's about ready to leave. She says, "Say you'll miss me." And Bod says, "Yeah, of course I'll miss you. Wherever you go, I'll miss you." She gives him a kiss on the corner of his mouth, and then disappears. Bod is tired of waiting for Silas, so he goes inside the chapel where he sees Silas. Silas is already just waiting for him. But when Bod gets into the chapel, it's dark. And it's like, man, it's dark. I can't see anything. And Silas says, "Wow, it's happened so quickly." And he lights some candles, and Bod and Silas are talking, and Silas is talking about going out and experiencing the world. And Bod says, "Man, I want to have adventures. I want to see everything. I want to experience everything." And Silas says, "Well, now's your chance. Here is your suitcase. Here's some things in there: clothes, a passport, money. It's your turn. It's your turn to have adventures. I don't know if you'll see me again, Bod, but I certainly will see you." And Bod says, "If you ever get into trouble, Silas, just let me know. I'll be there." Silas says, "I don't get into any trouble, but if I do, I'll call you." And then Silas asks him, like, "Well, what are you going to do?" Bod, "Go out into the world and don't leave any path untaken." And Bod says, "Wow, that's going to be really hard, but I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to live. I'm going to live life." And Silas says goodbye. Bod says goodbye. I think they shake hands. And Bod walks out of the graveyard by himself. He says goodbye to Silas there. And when he gets to the graveyard, the grave door is open. Usually it's locked, but it's open as the graveyard is kind of saying goodbye, Bod. And he goes there and he sees his mom. And she says, "I'm so proud of you, son. You're so great." He tries to hug her, but he just goes right through her. And he goes out into the world to live his life. Wow. There's a little bit more to that, but that's pretty much the story. Conspiring is like sharing a secret together, maybe planning something bad. Like the fox and the cat were talking together, like conspiring, and then when Bod goes over, they look at him and run off. Scrutinizing. Scrutinizing is studying so hard that you're trying to find a fault. You're trying to find something bad. So Mrs. Slaughter is looking at Bod, trying to see how his hair is messed up or how he's got dirt on his face, trying to look to find something wrong. Grubby is dirty. Tolerable means you don't want to do it, but you can do it. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt enough to pull your hand away. It tastes bad, but not so bad that you have to spit it out. Okay, this is tolerable. All these different circumstances, tolerable. Immutable is like unmovable. Silas, I think, is usually immutable, like his emotions, or he doesn't share them, he doesn't speak them. But in this case, he does. He's so soft and gentle when he's talking to Bod at this time. That leaves us with our discussion question, which is simply, where would you go first? You're 16, 15 years old. You have a passport. You have a suitcase or a bag, kind of like Silas's. You have a wallet full of money, and you're free. Like you don't have any connections. Your parents are dead already. Your guardian's gone. You're just by yourself. You have the whole world in front of you. Where would you go first? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.